Hola a todos, bienvenidos a los apuntes de los superlativos. Va a ser muy super. These will be the best notes ever because that's how superlatives work. Spoiler alert, they're these guys, right? All right, here we go. By the end of the day, you'll be able to compare people using superlative phrases. Because we didn't get there yesterday, here's a little kind of reminder review kind of thing. When we're talking about comparatives, we looked at phrases like más que and menos que and tanto como, wrong thing. But if we're talking about numbers, then instead of que, we use de. For example, it's like, yo tengo más de 10 euros. I have more than 10 euros kind of deal. So that's just kind of a heads up. Add that to your comparative notes if you haven't already. Okay, continuing on, let's start with superlatives. So a superlative is an expression, a comparative is an expression that compares exactly two things, right? This room is louder than that room kind of deal. There's two things in the comparison here, but super, they're like above things, right? A superlative is something that compares three or more items. So lots and lots of things. For example, in this phrase, este vestido es el más bonito que veo. This is the most beautiful dress that I see. Of all the dresses in my field of vision, this one is the most beautiful. El más bonito. Amazing. Okay, and then also, esos pescados son los menos sabrosos en el mundo. Those fish are the least tasty in the world. Least and most. That's the key idea here. That when we're talking about superlatives in English, it's always following the pattern the most or the least something, adjective of some sort. Right? The most beautiful, the least tasty, the things like that. Okay? It's always this pattern, right? Hear, know it, love it, memorize it forever. But in English, there's a couple exceptions, right? On one-syllable words, we just add est to them. Like if I'm on a hike, right? I would say, wow, this is a very steep hike. In fact, this is the steepest hike I have ever been on. Or it's the steepest hike in California or something, right? Sometimes if we have a two-syllable word ending in Y, like silly. Actually, lazy is shorter. And because I am lazy, we drop the Y. Oh, I didn't put my rule in yellow. We drop the Y and add IES. Right, okay. So lazy, drop the Y, IEST. Struggle is real. Okay. Laziest. You're the most lazy person in the world. Okay. The good news is these are only English special rules. All of your special rules in Spanish are going to follow this same pattern. So that's in Spanish. You have the. Actually, speaking of laziest, let's just kind of do this. It's the exact same pattern, but we need to put it into Spanish. So adjective is adjetivo. Oh, this is going to get rid of a lot, isn't it? Adjetivo. Least is just like less. We say menos. Most is just like more. We say más. And then we get to the. The is kind of tricky because there's lots of ways to say the in Spanish. We say it is the definite article. We definitely know which one we're talking about. This is way throwback to like the beginnings of Spanish ever. Right? So instead of the, we would say, whoops, where's my blue? Here it is. We would say el, or la, or los, or las, right? Whichever the you need, that's the one you're going to go with. So one of those, does, the, and then choose más o menos, and then your adjective. So that's how to form your superlative. Sometimes you'll have a qualifier, like the most beautiful of the world. Actually, this probably should have been like a del mundo. Anyway, okay, right? Or like in my family or something. Then it's followed by a they. You don't need the they because sometimes it's just not how you're forming your sentence. But if you're going to say of a group, then you need your they. The article, which is this guy right here, your the, still needs to agree in gender and in number with the noun, with the thing that you're talking about, with the noun. The thing that's being compared. Right? So if I have eres la persona menos tímida, that tímida needs to match la persona. You are the least shy person of like that I know. Not like of the world, but that I know. Right? If you're using this is a new thing. If you're using abstract concepts like an idea, for example, we use what's called the neuter article. We're going to use this word low, which is like the most difficult thing. The thing is kind of what this is. The concept, the idea. Okay? So you just say lo más difícil or lo menos fácil or something. The most difficult thing is following your path when the world doesn't follow you. Okay. So words of wisdom for the day. Okay, superlatives, basically all you need to know is the most or least adjective. Boom, done. Okay. We do have 4 irregulars, but guess what? They are the same as our comparatives. So just like we wouldn't say goodest, okay, we say el mejor. Or sorry, we say best, so we still have mejor. Or la mejor. Actually, let's write this down here. It can be la mejor or los mejores or las mejores as well, because they still need to agree in gender and in number. Right? So you have el mejor, the worst was peor, so the worst is el peor or la peor, los peores, las peores, right? Okay, cool. The oldest, well, older was mayor, so the oldest, el mayor, or la mayor, or las, or los, whatever. Youngest was menor, so the youngest, we need our the, el menor, or la menor, los menores. Okay, so you can use any the and then add es if it's plural. However, notice these phrases do not use más, wrong thing. They do not use más or menos. That was super white sounding of me. Menos. So there you go. There's your irregulars right here. And that's all the theory. Now let's put it into practice. Go ahead and look at this activity. The que extra, porque tenemos 2 personas. Tenemos Orlando y Rosa. Y cuando Orlando dice algo, Rosa responde con un superlativo. So every time Orlando is saying something, Rosa has the est, the biggest, the baddest, the worst, because she's just so extra. So we need to complete her responses. For example, in our first one, we have mi abuela es generosa. So his grandma is the most generous. Now Rosita, she's going to come in with her superlative saying that it is más or menos. It is the most, the best, the least, the worst, the whatever. Que generosa. So you want to say, yes, she is the most generous grandma of all the grandmas ever. She's the most generous. She's the best. Yay, grandma. Okay. So that'll give us es la, to match la abuela, la, and then más because she's the best. La más generosa, again, still matching abuela. Also a good hint. This was feminine, so we're probably going to use feminine again. All right, cool, good hint. Nice. Es la más generosa de todas las abuelas. Check out that de, by the way. Of all the grandmas. Okay, so you're going to read Orlando, his statement, and then she's going to reply with a superlative. Go ahead and take a minute to fill out the rest of the sentences, and now we'll come back and check your work. All right, here we go. Este equipo de béisbol es malo. Yes, it is the worst in the world. So check out. The worst, that's irregular. Es el peor equipo en el mundo. It is the worst team of the whole wide world. 3. Qué gatos tan feos. Oh, check out that plural here. We have to keep feos agreeing with gatos. Amazing. They are the ugliest cats in the neighborhood. We have a couple options here, actually. So the important part is los más feos. That's the important part. So you could totally just say, sí, son los más feos del barrio. Yes, they are the ugliest of the neighborhood. You could also say they're the ugliest cats in the neighborhood, and that's fine. So they both work. Personally, I like to leave this out because it gets kind of redundant. We just said cats, so why do we want them again here? Because you can prove you say cats. That's why, whatever you want. Okay, número 4. ¿Te gusta la música de salsa? With la música. And then it's, do you like it? Of course, she's superlative. So she's going to say it's the best. It's the best music in the whole wide world. So because we have la música, we have we have la mejor del mundo. You don't need música, but if you want to, I left it in, so that's exciting. Notice this is not like mejora, that's a verb, like to make better. It's just mejor. Cool. Okay. Siguiente, mi hermano es tímido. Again, tímido, matching hermano. And because he is the most timid in the whole family, es el más tímido de toda la familia. 6. Esa jugadora de tenis es muy joven. Yes, she is the youngest of all athletes ever. Again, we need la because that's basically our the. And then menor, that's an irregular. So the youngest es la menor de todas las deportistas. Yeah, joven means young. Okay, esas botas son caras. But now we're going to change our mind. Notice how she says no. We use the opposite. So instead of más cara, we're going to say menos cara. Son las menos caras de la tienda. But notice we're still using las, we're still using our the, and we still got our adjective. 3 más. Mi hermano es un muchacho tímido. He is a shy guy. But look, Rosita, she's about to disagree with you. So, or with Orlando. So Orlando claims that his brother is shy. But she's going to say, man, he's the least shy person I know. So we're going to start out again with our el. Start with our the. Again, muchacho is optional if you want. Okay, but to disagree, he's the least. We're going to put a menos here. And then tímido we need to keep. Es el menos tímido que conozco. He's the least timid guy that I know. Okay, mis patines son muy buenos. They're very good. But to be even better, we have an irregular. Better, best. I mean, mejor is the same as better, but also best. So now we just need to take that mejor, put a los in front of it, and make it plural so that it matches los patines. Alternatively, good hint, we have los míos as our example of like masculine words. So they need to match los mejores de todos. And one more. ¿Es importante seguir una dieta balanceada? Yes, good. Balanced diets are the most important thing in the whole world. That's what Rosita wants to say. The most. So we got our the, got lo, and más for our most. Notice that neuter right there. The thing most important. Lo más importante. And that is superlatives in a nutshell. Feel free to ask me whatever questions you have, and then have a lovely time on your homework. Remembering that this is your shortcut. I encourage you to write this pattern at the top of all your notes, at the top of all your activities. So you've got that shortcut. Love it. Memorize it. Put it in your hearts. Have a wonderful time on your activities.